Alright guys, so here we go to make and implement our strCompare or strcmp function. And all this function does is just a lexicographical comparison. So we talked about it like we can compare two strings to be part of a dictionary, okay? And what we want to do is to take these strings, string 1 and string 2, and compare them and to see which one of them comes first and second, and based on the result of who comes first to give some value. So in this case, what we do is that we take these two strings, and if we see that the first string, okay, the first parameter argument comes before, okay, if we take this string and it would come before the second string in the dictionary, then the result of the function simply should return us -1. If it's the opposite, for example, the second string comes before the first one in the dictionary, so you open up, you see, oh, the first string, the second string comes before the first one, so the function should return 1. And otherwise, if both of the strings are identical, then the function should return just 0. And we've seen that this function may be found at include string.h, right? We've seen that this function is actually a part of this library. And now what we want to do is to write this function on our own, right, to implement it. So for that, what we are going to do is to create inside of the main function two strings that we will compare. So let's make it like char str1, and this string will be like let's say alpha tag, okay? And the second string should be like, what should it be? Let's say like balfa tag, okay? So two strings, alpha tag and balfa tag, and we know that the first string str1 will come before the second string if we would compare it and take a look at it and search for it in the dictionary, because A comes before B, so we would expect some result returned based on this action from the strcmp function that we are about to write and to implement right now, me and you. So the first thing that we have to do is to define the function structure and the function signature. And basically, what should it be? Should it be should it be void? Should it be char star? Should it be like, I don't know, should it be maybe integer? What do you think, guys? Take a second to think about what should be the signature of this function. Pause the video and return to the video once you have some solid answer. Whether it will be true or false, it doesn't matter, okay? You will learn from this process. So I'm giving you a couple of seconds, like 5, 4, just kidding, guys. Okay, so hopefully you found some answer, and what we are going to do is to write the signature. So the signature is very simple. We can say that, okay, where is my mouse? Oh. So the signature is very simple. Since we know there are only 3 options that we want to be able to return, whether it's 1, -1, or 0. So an integer type would be pretty much okay for this one, for this option. So we are going to write int strcmp, and we are going to receive 2 strings, okay? So char pointer str1, okay, or str... one is also okay, str1, and also char pointer str2, okay? So awesome. So that's the signature. Let's write the body of the function right now. So what we know is that if the second string, okay, comes before, okay, if the second string comes before the first one in the dictionary, then we should return 1. Otherwise, we should return -1. And if they are identical, we should return 0. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to compare character by character the first string and the second one. And for that, we are going to use something like that. Let's use int I equals to 0. And also what I want us to use is some flag, okay, that will indicate what we had so far, okay? And I will explain exactly why we're using it, because in a lot of tutorials, they are kind of missing this part. So there you go, so flag equals to 0. And one thing that I want to tell you guys is that the solution that I'm about to share with you is kind of long, okay, and there are different solutions that solve and implement this function much more efficiently and with much less lines of code, but it will be kind of more difficult for me to explain it to you. So I think this way, where I'm going with you, like, you know, step by step and explaining you all the details, is not the most efficient implementation, but it will be much more understandable for you. Okay, so let us start and write our loop. So as long as flag equals to 0, meaning as long as we didn't find any different characters, okay, so as long as we didn't find any different characters between string 1 and string 2, meaning we are going character A at both strings is identical, second is identical, third is identical, as long as we didn't find some flag that says otherwise, that the first string comes before or the second comes before, meaning there are two different characters that differ from one another. So what we are going to do now is to ask a simple condition. If string, no, it's not string, it's str1, if str1 at index I is less than str2 at index I, okay, so if that's the case, if str1 is less than str2 at index I, meaning we found a character, okay, that comes at str1 before str2. So if that's the case, what we can say is that flag will be equal to -1, meaning this is exactly what we would want to return, okay? We would like to return this flag, this -1, because str1 comes before str2, and that's how the strcmp original implementation works. Okay, but if that's not the case, so let's use else if str1, okay, at index I is greater than str2 at index I, meaning we still found a character which is not the same, okay, at the position of I, at index I, at both of these strings, but here str2 comes before str1. So if that's the case, we know that we should definitely return 1, so flag equals to 1, okay? And once you will return to the condition of this while loop to the next iteration, this condition will not be true, okay? So if while flag equals to 0, as long as it equals to 0, we are going to run this loop, and flag will be equal to -1 or 1 if at least one character was found and it's not the same, okay? And last thing that we have to add here is that what will happen if we reached, okay, meaning we have to put here some, you know, like to put here some barriers that will tell us, okay guys, you reached the maximum of string 1, so if str1 at index I equals to \0 at the end, if that's the case, then basically what we should do is just break and leave this loop alone. And why is it so useful, this if statement? And it's not part of this condition, it's not the else of this if and else if. It's a simple condition that will run no matter what is the result of the conditions here. This condition basically tells us this one thing, that if you compared and you didn't find any flags yet, and basically you found that you reached the end of str1, okay, so you reached the end, let's say it was something like, so both strings were like AB and ABB, okay, so you compared A and A and it was good, B and B and it was good, and then you compared \0 here at this one string at str1 and B here, and of course \0 is less than B, so this condition would have worked behind the scenes. So and here this will allow you to break out of the loop, okay, with this flag of -1, okay, meaning you will not enter here once again for sure. And also you will know that the function should return -1 because AB will definitely be in the dictionary before ABB, right? Because it's kind of bigger and longer. So that's one of the reasons why we're using that. And once you're done, you will simply return the flag. Okay, so you will return the flag, whether it was -1, whether it was 1. And also, one thing that we forgot to add here is, of course, the incrementation of I, okay, because we on every iteration want to increment I by 1, so that this way we'll be able to go over the arrays. Yeah, the arrays, the strings, okay, that's just an array of characters, but still to go over these strings and to find the relevant flag. So basically, we are doing not bad so far. And last thing that I want to do right now is to not give you a full picture of all the options that we covered, because here on we have a lot of options. And I want to ask you a simple question and to give you some time to think about it and to come up with a solution. Maybe leave your answer in the comments. If you don't have a clue, you may also ask for the solution and see what also other people think of it. So the question is, what will happen? 2 questions. What will happen if both of the strings are the same? Will they always come to this point? And also, the second question is, should we also be checking str2? Okay, meaning if str2 at index I equals to \0, then do this thing or that thing. So that's also a good question. And I actually want you to think about it and to try come up with a good solution. So yeah, guys, hopefully you found useful this video and the previous exercises and the implementations of strings functions. And as always, keep on practicing, and I will see you in the next video.